What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel tonight. Clash of Champions, Boston, Massachusetts. Jinder Mahal, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. The Yep Movement against Shane McMahon. And the dream team of Nakamura, Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan appointing himself as another special guest referee for this circus that we seen tonight. But I actually have a lot of positive to say about that match. Not the match in general. The match was terrible. But I thought that everything that WWE did tonight as far as the two big matches tonight on tonight's show, I think they did a very good job. And you're probably asking yourself, JD, why would you be saying that? This pay-per-view sucked. This pay-per-view sucked. I am going to drop a dash of reality on you guys tonight because I seen things a little bit differently than some of you might have seen it tonight. And we're going to talk about all that, plus the Tag Team Championships on the line in a great fatal four-way match. The United States Championship match between Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Roode. That surprised the hell out of me. The Bludgeon Brothers remain dominating. The women's match was a complete waste of time, as I expected it to be. And I was expecting this pay-per-view to be battleground nauseating garbage. Or at least similar to Battleground, because we all know how garbage that pay-per-view was. But tonight, Clash of Champions, it was a little bit better than your standard SmackDown Live on Tuesday night. It was not a bad show. It wasn't really a good show. But if I had to gauge it on a thumbs up, thumbs down basis, I'd give it a thumbs up. I would definitely give it a thumbs up. It wasn't the worst pay-per-view ever, but it did its job. It kept you entertained for 3 hours, and that's all we can ask from a B-level pay-per-view and the SmackDown brand, because we know how low they've been going as of late. So I was pretty pleased with tonight's show, and I'm going to explain to you why as we get on with this review tonight. I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support that you guys showed all weekend, man. Off the Script 200 was a resounding success. You guys came out in full force. Some of you I actually met at the House of Glory show on Saturday night. Shout out to the Amazing Red again, successfully defending his world title against Zack Sabre Jr. in a great match. Thank you guys for coming out and saying what's up to me and chatting with me for a little bit. And to everybody that bought me a Guinness, man. I was overflowing in Guinness at one point, man. So you guys know I love my Guinness, and you guys are not afraid to supply me with Guinness as I sit down and do commentary, man, for House of Glory. But I want to thank everybody that came out. I want to thank everybody for your heartfelt, warm, wonderful words for this weekend show. I did not get a show up today because I was very busy with some personal stuff, and my voice was not really feeling all that hot. I legitimately had a sore throat this morning, so I kind of bypassed Off the Script part 3 for episode 200 today. That will be up tomorrow morning, so make sure you guys look out for that. But I am good to go for this Clash of Champions review tonight. We're going to kick some ass tonight, and I want to thank everybody for your continued love and support, man. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for notifications. As always, we are nearing 86,000 subscribers. I want to thank my friends over at Audible, man. We had a great year with Audible, and I know I'm going to have a lot of new listeners, not only on YouTube, but when this hits iTunes as well. We're going to have a lot of new listeners for this review of Clash of Champions. And if you guys want something for free, if you guys want to support the show for literally doing absolutely nothing but listening to the beautiful words that come out of my mouth as it regards this review, you guys can support by going to audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys have 30 days free of Audible service plus 1 free audiobook of your choice, and that's all you have to do, man. And you know what? You guys can get to keep the audiobook and cancel immediately, man. If you know Audible's not for you, you guys get to cancel and keep your free audiobook no matter what. So all you got to do again, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Go through the sign-up process. You got 1 month free of Audible plus 1 free audiobook, and you guys are good to go, and you are supporting the podcast by doing so, man. Thank you guys so much, and I welcome all new subscribers to the Audible service, and I welcome all new listeners to the show here tonight for Clash of Champions. I want to start off with the top two matches here, man, because this was the most important thing on the show. We got the WWE Championship with AJ Styles and Jinder Mahal, and you guys know how I hate Jinder Mahal. And then we had the tag team match, which I thought was going to be the main event, but I'm glad it was not, because it's not more important than the WWE Championship, even though Jinder Mahal is a detriment and a plague to any championship that he wrestles for, because the guy sucks. But that was the other co-main event tonight, the tag team match with the double referees and Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, with Zayn and Owens and that pairing against the super team of Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura. I want to start off with the WWE Championship because I got a lot of comments when I logged into my Twitter account just mere minutes ago before I actually hit record. I want to start off with this, man. Jinder Mahal and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. This was the most boring AJ Styles match I've ever seen. This was the most boring AJ Styles match I've ever seen, and I'm going to say it again. Okay? Why was it the most boring AJ Styles match we've ever seen? Because AJ Styles didn't do AJ Styles-like things. On the other hand, this was the best Jinder Mahal match I have ever seen. Two opposite ends of the spectrum here. JD, are you on drugs? JD, did you sniff a little glue before you sat down and hit record? Did you smoke the ganja before you sat down in front of the microphone? No, I'm completely sober. I am not high. I am speaking to you from a realistic point of view. This was the most boring AJ Styles match I have ever seen. This was the best Jinder Mahal match I've ever seen. Do you want to know why this was the best Jinder Mahal match I've ever seen? It's because, number one, Jinder Mahal walked into this match without the WWE Championship. That was a pleasant sight in itself. Number two, Jinder Mahal legitimately played a great heel in this match. Do you want to know why he played a great heel in this match? It's because he barely, until the ending, he barely had any involvement from the Singh brothers. This is what I've been stating for months. You want to make Jinder Mahal a legit competitor in the ring. You want to make Jinder Mahal a legit threat as a WWE champion. You have him win on his own. He did most of this match on his own, and he looked, and pardon my language here, he looked good. He looked good. Now, the reason why this happened, the reason why this was the most boring AJ Styles match I've ever seen in WWE, and the reason why this was the best Jinder Mahal match we ever seen, is because we knew Jinder Mahal was not going to win the WWE Championship. If WWE was that foolish to give Jinder another title reign, the world would have been better off ending tomorrow morning and all of us be eradicated. Seriously. There was no way in this world, there was no way humanly possible that WWE could be that stupid to give Jinder Mahal another run at the WWE Championship when they know good and well that his first tenure, and I hope only tenure as WWE Champion, was a complete and colossal failure. The reason why this was the best Jinder Mahal match we've ever seen is because WWE booked this match to be Jinder's last hurrah in the main event. Because Jinder is no longer going to be challenging for the WWE Championship. They knew they had full intention of AJ Styles going into the Royal Rumble as the WWE Champion. So what did they have AJ do? They made AJ take a beating for 95% of this match and make Jinder Mahal look like a legit badass. And it worked. It worked. I was pleasantly surprised by some of the things Jinder Mahal was doing. The methodical pace that he was working. Some new maneuvers that we seen. He worked on the ribs, which was the story of this match tonight with AJ Styles. He worked on the ribs. Everything that Jinder did offensively concentrated on the ribs. Whether it was that brutal spot, that Irish whip into the exposed barricade. Whether it was the front forward suplex on the announce table. Whether it was the body scissors he did in the middle of the ring. Whether it was a fall-away slam. Whether it was the Colossus, a knee to the midsection. Everything that Jinder Mahal did concentrated on AJ Styles' ribs, which was pretty much being battered and beaten most of the match. That's why I enjoyed this match from Jinder more than I enjoyed any Jinder match. He looked like a legit competitor in that ring. He knew what he was doing, and he knew what he had to do to win the WWE Championship tonight. AJ obviously helped him along in this 25-minute match, whatever it went, and he did a commendable job in making Jinder look good. So I stand with my opinion. This was the most boring AJ Styles match I've ever seen, but on the flip side, it was the best I've ever seen Jinder Mahal in a WWE ring. Now, where does Jinder Mahal go from here? Jinder Mahal is going to the mid-card. I pitched and I proposed that Jinder Mahal be pushed down a step, and I think he challenges for the United States Championship. And I hope we do not see too much interference from the Singh brothers. So I think Jinder Mahal would be perfect for the United States Championship if he can continue to keep up what we seen tonight and build on that without much outside interference and continue to build upon his presence as a legit threat and a smart in-ring competitor like we've seen tonight, then I would not mind Jinder Mahal. I really would not. And the fact that he walked into Clash of Champions without the WWE Championship and a little bit more hungry and out to prove himself that he really didn't need the Singh brothers, it kind of made me see him in a different light. And it makes me wonder why WWE did not book this Jinder Mahal for the 6 months of his title reign. I would not be sitting here bashing the fucking guy every single week. I don't understand it. I think WWE did a very, very good job as far as Jinder Mahal tonight. Now, as for the match, the Singh brothers tried to drag Jinder Mahal out of the ring, okay? AJ went for a springboard, does the 450, he hits it, can't make the pin because, like I said, the ribs were a story in this match. The Singh brothers then pulled Jinder out of the ring. AJ pulls Jinder back. AJ leaps out of the ring, takes them out on the floor. He hits a Styles Clash on one of the Singh brothers. I don't recall who it was. AJ ends up springboarding in for the phenomenal forearm. Jinder ducks it. Jinder goes with the knee to the back of the head. Jinder with a Khallas, which is always awful looking, but he hit it anyway. Close 2 count, near fall, middle of the ring. Jinder then grabs AJ, mocks him. Then he goes for a Styles Clash. Jinder actually legitimately went for a Styles Clash. He can't get it done. Styles backdrops him into the calf crusher, middle of the ring. AJ keeps the hold locked in the middle of the ring, tightens it, and Jinder Mahal eventually taps out to the calf crusher. AJ Styles wins and retains the WWE Championship. You guys got to go back and watch to gauge where I'm coming from with this. I stand by my opinion on this. I think Jinder Mahal, like I said, this is the best I've ever seen him. And I think he goes right back to a, mid-card role for the United States Championship. I think that's where I see him fit. And I pitched, I think Bobby Roode would be a great United States champion going into 2018. And I think Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal could be the match that they do set up for WrestleMania. And we'll talk about the United States Championship in just a little bit. As for AJ Styles obviously is the right man to go into WrestleMania as the WWE Champion, but who does he go up against? Because SmackDown has a few title defenses coming up, one at the Royal Rumble, and then they got Fastlane in March, so we're going to need 2 WWE Championship matches at those 2 respective events. Royal Rumble obviously being the bigger one. There's not many people on the SmackDown roster that I find legitimate to go one-on-one with AJ Styles now that he's done with Jinder Mahal. I will talk about that as I think one man that we could consider for a number 1 contendership right now is in the co-main event of this pay-per-view. And I'm going to talk about the tag team match now between Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan as the special guest referees. Special guest referees, plural. This match, I did not care about this match whatsoever, man. I watched, I didn't give a shit about anything that happened here. The only thing going through my head with this match was that this was a goddamn circus. This was a goddamn circus. All I kept saying to myself is, why don't they have Daniel Bryan on the outside of the ring But why do they have two referees inside the ring? Should have been Shane in the ring taking care of what happens in the ring, and it should have been Daniel Bryan outside the ring making sure that Shane is doing his job from outside. Do you know how ridiculous it looked with two referees taking up space in the ring, then with the competitors in the ring at the same time? It looked absolutely ridiculous. And then on top of that, WWE tried to build dissension early on. Never mind the four guys competing in the match. This was all about Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. Whether it was breaking up a hold, Shane McMahon agreed with, Daniel Bryan didn't agree with. Something that Shane McMahon found legal, something that Daniel Bryan found illegal. Whether it was a near fall, both guys go for a cover and they were off sync. Both of them were completely off key going for a near fall. It was ridiculous. It literally looked like Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus in that ring. And I was getting very frustrated with the fact that WWE did not do what I originally stated that they should do. Daniel on the outside and Shane on the inside. And then dissension as we get to the climax of the match. Then WWE kind of made sense of all that in the middle of the ring, during the middle of this match. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon came to some sort of agreement that Shane would take one half of the ring and Daniel Bryan would take the other. And it worked for a time being. You know, it worked for a little bit of time. And then shit broke down. And it went from, I legitimately kid you not, my opinion on everything here went from, Jesus Christ, this is a goddamn circus. What are they doing? To, okay, now this is a little bit more understandable. It's still cringe, and it's still garbage, and it still just lacks logic, and it's just chaotic, and it's a mess, but I'm enjoying it just a little bit. And then by the end of the match, my complete attitude was, Jesus Christ, this is fucking brilliant. This was brilliant. By the end of this match, I was completely singing a different tune compared to what I thought in the beginning of this match. And it all came down with the ending. We had Nakamura on the outside. He was put through a table by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ran from one announce table to the other. He did his tadpole splash, or his bullfrog splash. I'm sorry, the tadpole splash was for Hornswoggle. I don't want to disrespect Kevin Owens in any way. The bullfrog splash off one announce table onto Nakamura, and he drove Nakamura right through the table. So we got in the middle of the ring, Shane is checking on Nakamura. We're getting replays, and everybody's going crazy. Sami returns to the ring. Orton catches him in a wicked power slam. Shane and Bryan now are both back in the ring. Shane was also checking on Nakamura, but obviously with Shane in the ring, Daniel has to make sure that Shane is doing his job. Orton does his draping DDT on Sami. Orton drops down and readies for an RKO. And Shane McMahon, at this point, he sees Randy Orton getting ready for the RKO, and he's just cheering on. He's doing, something that a referee should not do. He's cheering for one opponent over the other. So he's legitimately not even being a referee at this point. He's being a cheerleader for Randy Orton because he can't wait to see Randy Orton deliver the RKO. Orton nails the RKO on Sami in the middle of the ring. The match is over. Everybody's saying the match is over. Crowd's going crazy. Shane goes for the pin. But outside, Kevin Owens comes back into the ring. Bryan is already in the ring. Owens, using his brain, shoves Bryan onto Shane to break up the count. Now, this is where it gets good. Shane thought that Bryan did it legitimately, and he did not realize that Owens was the one to push Bryan onto him. Shane thought that Bryan broke up the count on his own accord. So Shane did not even see or recollect that Owens was the perpetrator in this instance. So that's where things began to really break down. So they start to argue now. Orton gets up. He is pissed at Daniel Bryan. He didn't know what the hell was going on. And Shane and Bryan are still arguing in the middle of the ring. Owens comes from behind. Orton drops him with an RKO. Sami rolls Bryan up for a 2 count, and they trade small packages. You got Shane McMahon counting when Randy Orton was pinning, and then you got Daniel Bryan counting when Sami Zayn rolled over into the small package. So it was back and forth, dueling small packages here. So Shane screws Sami and gets on Bryan's side of the ring. Because remember, they pretty much agreed that Shane would take one end and Daniel Bryan would take the other. So Shane McMahon took it upon himself to go into Daniel's half of the ring and count. So Bryan and Shane argue again. They get in each other's faces. They get a little physical with one another. Fans start going crazy here. This is where things really picked up, and that's why I said everything else that happened in the beginning of this match really didn't matter. It was all about Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. Orton grabs Sammy from behind for the RKO, but Sammy rolls Orton up. Bryan counts the pin. Shane tries to stop it, but Bryan made the 3 count. Fast. So let me backtrack. Shane tried to count Sami Zayn. You know, when Shane went over to Bryan's part of the ring, Sammy had Orton rolled up. He did the 1, 2, and then he stopped purposely. Shane stopped purposely because he knew Sami Zayn had the advantage. And instead of counting the 3 count and giving his team the win, he fucked him over. So Bryan was like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? So they start arguing, and then all of a sudden, we got another pinfall, and Bryan to say, screw you, Shane. Instead of doing the legitimate right thing, he counts 1, 2, 3 fast, and it's all over. So Daniel Bryan threw it right back into Shane McMahon's face. Shane wanted to fuck over Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, so Daniel Bryan did it because Shane was intentionally waiting to fuck them over, and Daniel Bryan knew it. Daniel Bryan knew it. And instead of letting Shane get away with it, he screwed Shane McMahon instead of Shane screwing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And this entire thing was brilliant. It was brilliant. I don't believe how I hated it, and I thought it was a circus-like act in the beginning. Then it calmed down. The chaos kind of, normalized, and all of a sudden, they came out with that ending, man. That was the perfect way to build even more tension between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. I knew it was going to be some type of screwy finish, but I think WWE did a fantastic job at just having everything come together here. It looked a little bit chaotic, and the main focus wasn't even on the 4 guys in the ring. It was mostly on Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. But Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got the win here because of Daniel Bryan. Daniel knew Shane was going to screw him, so Daniel said, you know what? I'm not going to let you get away with this. I'm going to screw you. I'll take the heat for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Absolutely brilliant stuff, man. You got to go back and watch how it all unfolded. I do it no justice, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know what you guys think, but I thought it was a really, really, really great way to add just another layer to Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. Now, backtracking to what I said about AJ. Who's AJ going to defend the WWE Championship against? The only one that I can see is Randy Orton right now. I think Randy Orton, if I was booking this, I'm not sure if WWE is going to go with this or use this idea. I know if I'm in charge, this is what I'm doing. I'm giving Randy Orton a shot at the WWE Championship because he was really fucked over here. Randy Orton on multiple occasions was really screwed over here. He had Sami Zayn beat. He had both of them beat, actually, him and Owens. RKOs to both. Randy Orton got the really, really short end of the stick here. I think Shane is going to grant Randy Orton a shot at the WWE Championship, and I think we're going to get Randy Orton versus AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble. It makes sense. It really does make sense if you want to book it, and we really haven't seen that match outside of one non-title match on SmackDown Live that barely went 10 minutes. I think you give those guys about 20-plus minutes at a major pay-per-view. I think that is a match that could potentially steal the show. Don't quote me on that, but if I'm booking this thing, I think that's what I'm going with, because I don't see anybody else on this roster right now that could really go one-on-one with AJ Styles before we get to the eventual Nakamura-AJ Styles match at WrestleMania. That is my opinion on all that. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens keep their jobs, and they start taunting Shane McMahon, saying that they're going to get him a Yep t-shirt, and I believe I heard Sami Zayn yell, "What's your size? Large will get it for you." The Yep movement is in full effect on SmackDown Live, and Tuesday is going to be a very interesting show because I know Shane McMahon is going to have a lot to say to Daniel Bryan. Let's go to the top of the card, man. It started all off with Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, and Baron Corbin. I have criticized Dolph Ziggler for not really being utilized, and it's really not his fault. I should, reword that. I criticized WWE for not using Dolph Ziggler the right way, because he really is one of the best in-ring performers in the entire company. Bobby Roode, I predicted to win this match. I thought Bobby Roode would be a perfect candidate as the United States champion. I have been, enjoying Baron Corbin, but I don't find him to be championship material yet. I did have a problem with this match because Ziggler was thrown in there with absolutely no logic, no rhyme or reason. But I did know that, yes, it didn't have any logic, but Ziggler probably is going to make this match better than if it was Bobby Roode versus Baron Corbin. And that's exactly what happened. And this match surprised the shit out of me. It really did. I really didn't expect much from this match, but the fact that it opened the show and it got the crowd going and Boston really reacted well to everything in this match, it really made for an enjoyable United States Championship match. The wrong man won here. I don't know what WWE was thinking with this outcome. I'm not surprised by this whatsoever because everybody expected Bobby Roode to win this thing. And of course, in typical WWE fashion, they gave you the most unpredictable outcome because everybody thought something else was going to happen. So WWE said, you know what, everybody's expecting Bobby Roode to win. We'll give Dolph Ziggler a token title win here. That's exactly what they did. I don't know why they gave Dolph Ziggler the title tonight. I don't see Dolph Ziggler holding the United States Championship for too long. Maybe this is the first thing that popped into my mind, Ziggler said he's leaving. Maybe WWE doesn't want Dolph Ziggler to leave. Maybe this is their way of saying, we want you, so we'll give you the United States Championship. But Ziggler has to know that this is nothing but a token title run. This is WWE trying to mend fences here. And we all know Dolph Ziggler is probably better off without the WWE. You know? This is not going to stay. It's not going to stick here with Dolph Ziggler as the United States Champion. Bobby Roode should have won this match, but they gave it to Dolph Ziggler. Baron Corbin did nothing with the United States Championship, and I'm glad that it's off Baron Corbin. I hope that it doesn't go back to Baron Corbin. I'd rather it be on Ziggler than Corbin, but I don't see much with Ziggler and the United States Championship anyway. Roode went for the glorious DDT. Crowd wanted Bobby Roode to win this thing. Boston wanted Bobby Roode to win this thing. Ziggler blocks it, and he hits the DDT of his own. 2 count. Roode ends up sending Corbin back over the top to the floor. Roode catches Ziggler in a super kick. He blocks the super kick. Roode catapults Ziggler into the corner, and Ziggler makes every little thing look that much more tremendous, man. His selling is absolutely the best in the business. He makes something so minuscule look absolutely fucking beautiful. So he sold the shit out of that catapult into the corner. Roode hits the glorious DDT on Ziggler. Corbin runs in, and Roode sends him back to the floor. I thought Bobby Roode at this point was going to win the match. So Roode covers Ziggler, but Corbin, quick, great wherewithal from Baron Corbin, pulls Roode out from underneath the ropes, breaks the pin. Corbin nails Roode with a chokeslam backbreaker on the outside. Corbin rolls Roode back in the ring. Corbin with the end of days on Bobby Roode, but from behind, Ziggler turns it into a zigzag. So the end of days was blocked. He didn't hit all the end of days, but Ziggler did indeed hit the zigzag on Baron Corbin. And Dolph Ziggler covers Baron Corbin for the win and wins the United States Championship. I don't know where they go from here, man. I really don't. I would like to see Dolph Ziggler out of the WWE, just for his own good. I don't see WWE pushing Dolph Ziggler as the United States Champion. It's too little too late. It really is. Ziggler was booed when he came out because they halted his theme music. At the end of this thing, they started to cheer Dolph Ziggler. Now, I don't know if that's because Boston enjoyed the match that much, or they're really fans of Dolph Ziggler and genuinely wanted him to win. But if you're pushing Dolph Ziggler as the I don't give a shit guy who just wants to go out there, do what he does, and then leave and go home and get booed for his troubles, that's what they wanted to do with him. At the end of this match, he was a clear-cut babyface. So giving him the title win tonight kind of erases everything you did with Dolph Ziggler for the last 6 months. What did it do? It's not going to erase people's memories of Dolph Ziggler. People still think he's a loser because the way WWE's been booking him and has booked him all year. This will do nothing for him. This was a waste of an opportunity to get the title on the right guy in Bobby Roode. So WWE seemingly made a mistake with this match. I don't know. It was a good match, but clearly the wrong guy won. The wrong guy won. Bobby Roode should have won, but Dolph Ziggler walks out as the new United States Champion. Fatal 4-way for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Rusev and Aiden English versus the New Day, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus the Usos. The beginning of this match was actually better than the match itself. I do not believe, I swear to God, I don't know if this is Boston. Boston's usually a very good crowd. But I don't know if this is Boston or if these guys are legitimately that over. Rusev and Aiden English are over as fuck. And it made me smile from ear to ear, man. It really did. I am so happy for Rusev. I can genuinely say I am incredibly happy for Rusev. He looked, for the first time in 3 fucking years that I've seen this guy on the main roster, he looked legitimately happy. You seen him glowing when the fans started to chant Rusev Day. You seen him glowing and smiling from ear to ear when people were chanting along with Aiden English during his 12 Days of Rusev Day theme. You know, it was ridiculous. And then they called for an encore. I've never seen Rusev that engaged and that happy in a WWE ring. And it's a great thing to see, man. I'm happy for him. Finally, something that he does is getting over. And they made him look good. They made them, WWE made Rusev and Aiden English look good in this match. That's all I can ask for. I didn't expect them to win, but they are over. And if WWE wants to give them a test run as tag team champions, you have my 100% approval, man. If they're going to get reactions like that, they pretty much guarantee themselves a WWE Tag Team Championship title reign. They have to. WWE would be foolish not to put the tag team titles on these guys if they're that over. New Day, they've seen their day. Enough of them. 4-time tag team champions is enough right now. They should be no way right now, or at least in the next couple of months, no way being talked about as tag team champions. Benjamin and Gable, I love the makeup of the team. I think they're great athletes, but I don't think the crowd is really fully invested in them. The Usos, they came out and did their 12 Days of Usos. Lockdown. 12 Days of Lockdown theme. That was even great before the match started. I do not like Fatal 4-Ways. And the reason why I don't like Fatal 4-Ways is because they're too chaotic. There's 4 guys in the ring. It's very tough to follow at all times. I would have much rather preferred a 2-on-2 championship match, but WWE, you know how they love their Fatal 4-Ways in 2017. This match really wasn't all that spectacular up until the ending, man. The ending was absolutely fantastic. Rusev, he gets a tag in from Aiden English. English ends up doing his finisher to Chad Gable. Rusev tags in. Fans go crazy. They want Rusev and English to win the tag team titles tonight. He stomps on Gable's back and goes for the accolade. Fans are going crazy. Big E comes in to break up the accolade. Big E goes for a big ending on Rusev. And Kofi goes to the top for the double team. They go for the midnight hour. But English knocks Kofi off the top rope. Rusev with the 2 count on Big E. Rusev floors Big E with a Machka kick for another 2 count. Rusev then stomps on Big E and applies the accolade on Big E. Looked very impressive. I didn't expect Big E to tap, but it looked very impressive. Big E starts to power out of the accolade, and with Rusev on his back, Rusev powers back down and applies the hold even tighter, pulling back on Big E. At this point, I thought Aiden English and Rusev are going to win the tag team titles. I thought this was it. Gable comes in and nails a suplex on Rusev. You thought that was impressive. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's fucking strong. That was impressive. That wasn't even the most impressive thing that Chad Gable did. English runs in and misses Gable. Gable drops English on his head with a German suplex. So he dropped Rusev and Aiden English on their heads with German suplexes. Gable and Big E now go at it. Gable picked up, and I mean strong-styled, deadlift Big E and a German suplex, man, and it was one of the most impressive things, probably the most impressive thing on this entire show was that German suplex to Big E. Chad Gable is a fucking freak of nature. My God. He nailed Big E with a German suplex, dropped Big E on his head. Crowd's going crazy. Jimmy Uso comes in, and Gable rolls him up. Jay comes in, hits a super kick. Usos hit the big splash on Gable, and that was it. The Usos literally out of nowhere after Gable's suplex fucking party here, and after Rusev and Aiden English seemingly had the titles won, the New Day were a non-factor here because Kofi was knocked off the top. Big E was destroyed by Gable. The Usos come out of nowhere and super kick, big splash off the top, retain the tag team championships, man. The ending of that match was fucking fantastic. The match was good. I just don't care for Fatal 4-Ways. It's just all over the place. You're not going to get one guy to come out and really shine when you got 4 guys in the ring and chaos all over the place. But the ending of that match, Rusev and Aiden English really look good, and you've seen how over they are. The New Day's work speaks for itself. Gable was impressive. Benjamin was impressive. He had a leapfrog in one fluid motion, threw one of the Usos off the top rope halfway across the ring. Benjamin was impressive. But in the end, it was the Usos who took advantage of the unpredictability nature of this match and win it out of nowhere. And it was a hard-fought match. And you can't fault them. The Usos took advantage of something and they retained the tag team championships, which I think was the right decision. This was the right decision. The Usos are the best tag team on this brand. There's no reason to take the titles off the best team on the brand. Until someone else steps up and is about even level with the Usos, that's when you contemplate taking the titles off of them. Until that point, you keep the titles on the Usos because there's nobody better right now. Usos retain in a very good Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match. The Lumberjack match for the SmackDown women's title. This match, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Garbage. The one match I did not care for. And I don't understand why WWE had to give every Lumberjack an introduction, and then they had to introduce the competitors, and then they had to go over the rules. It's like the introductions before the bell rang was longer than the actual match. And in fact, the video package before the match was actually better than the match and longer than the match. I didn't care about this. I really didn't give a shit about any of this. There was no reason why Charlotte was going to lose the title tonight. And that's exactly what happened. Charlotte was not going to lose the title. She retained the title. And we all knew, being that it was a Lumberjack match, how these things are going to go. It's the same shit every single time we see a Lumberjack match. Every single time. You know? Women fighting on the outside. A big brawl breaks out. Mass confusion. Then the action picks up in the ring. And then we get a conclusion to the match. It's always the same thing. It's always the same thing. Natty tried to befriend everybody in this match. So at every given chance, she shoved Charlotte out of the ring. And then in typical fashion, Charlotte was beat down by the Lumberjacks. It's legal. It's not really what the Lumberjacks' purpose is, but it's not really, illegal in this instance. The Lumberjacks were beating on Charlotte. So every instance Natalya had an opportunity to throw Charlotte out, the Lumberjacks were picking apart the pieces, and that gave Natalya an opportunity to win this match. But in the end here, Flair goes for the top as everybody's brawling on the outside. And Flair goes to the top and hits her terrible-looking moonsault, right? She knocks all the pins down at the bowling alley, as usual. Everybody just standing around dumbfounded, and then someone jumps off the top, and it's a big splash onto everybody. Everybody's falling to the ground. The moonsault looked awful. So she took everybody out. Natalya's up first. She sends Flair face first into the ring post. Natalya continues her offensive attack on Flair while she's down on the floor. Natalya rolls Flair back into the ring. Natalya goes for a sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. Flair kicks her to the mat. She escapes the sharpshooter, goes right into the figure 8. Done. Charlotte wins, tap out, retains the title. That's all it was. All this Lumberjack match did was throw another teaser, throw another wood on the fucking furnace for a women's Royal Rumble match. That's all this did. And I don't want a women's Royal Rumble match. There's not a need for a women's Royal Rumble match. I don't care for one. I don't care about any of these women at all. I don't care for these women or the women on Monday Night Raw at all. I think both divisions have been booked terrible. I am completely zoned out of everything women's revolution-wise on both Raw and SmackDown. These two factions have seemingly ruined the women's divisions. Honestly. I don't care. At one point in this match, Carmella tried to cash in. I didn't think there was going to be a cash in this match, but it would have been a good opportunity for her to cash in, being that it was just a chaotic situation. But she did not cash in. She was stopped. But ultimately, Charlotte retains the title, and that is the right way to go. Where Charlotte goes from here, I really don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. I think we really do get a Women's Royal Rumble in January, which I'm crossing my fingers we do not. Breezango versus the Bludgeon Brothers. I expected this match to at least go 10 minutes. I would have really liked it to go 10 minutes. I like Breezango. I like Tyler Breeze and Fandango. I think they're a very, very underrated tag team. I've been proclaiming that I want to see these guys, wrestle. I don't want to see these guys squashed. I know the Bludgeon Brothers have been built up as a dominating tag team, but I would have rather these guys be off the card instead of just be put in a situation where they were going to get squashed in 2 minutes. This was ridiculous. I think the jobbers on SmackDown Live this past week looked better than Breezango in this match against the Bludgeon Brothers. This is ridiculous. Absolute ridiculous. Typical what we've seen from the Bludgeon Brothers. They chase Fandango on the outside. Tyler Breeze is getting his ass kicked on the inside. Rowan brings Fandango in. Rowan goes back to ringside to double team Breeze. No homo. Slamming his face into the apron. Harper and Rowan return into the ring. Double, they're double teaming Fandango. Double team power bomb there. And they nail him with the crucifix bomb to the mat. And Fandango was pinned by Eric Rowan. 1, 2, 3. Easy win. That's all it was. This was legitimately a squash match. And Corey Graves was like, you might as well hand the fashion files over to the Bludgeon Brothers. Because they might as well be canceled after tonight. I don't understand that logic. I would have at least liked to see Breezango put up a fight against the Bludgeon Brothers and not get squashed. How am I ever going to take Breezango seriously? This was the first match that they had in months, and you give them a 2-minute squash? Squash to the Bludgeon Brothers? Come on, dude. Tyler Breeze is better than this. But he's got 4 houses. He owns 4 houses, so he don't give a shit. He don't give a shit. Bludgeon Brothers win. Squash Breezango at Clash of Champions. And that was the entire card, man. That was everything. It was a very short card. Not much going on. They wanted to keep it to a minimum. They had some matches that really didn't fit to the Clash of Champions, whole mold. But every title on SmackDown Live was on the line. And in the end, what we've seen tonight from the triple threat match with the United States Championship, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship at the end of that match, the fantastic just confusion, the chaos that was Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, and then what I said about AJ Styles and Jinder Mahal. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. I honestly think this was not a full-on thumbs-up show. It was like, teetering on thumbs in the middle, thumbs-up show. This wasn't a bad show. This was a good show. It was a SmackDown Live episode that was, better than what we usually see on a Tuesday night. This was an enhanced version of a typical SmackDown Live. That's all it was. Did it need to be a pay-per-view? No, it did not. But WWE entertained you for 3 hours. They had some good shit on tonight's show, and that's all you can ask for. At least it wasn't what we got with Battleground, with that fucking Punjabi prison match. Remember that shit? My God, I thought we were headed for that type of disaster tonight, the way this pay-per-view was built up. Thank God we didn't get that, and we got a decent show with some entertaining aspects and something to look forward to on Tuesday night. WWE, with some of the things that happened tonight, actually made you look forward to Tuesday night on SmackDown. So that's all you can ask for if you're a fan of SmackDown Live and a fan of WWE, man. That is my review of tonight's show, Clash of Champions. If you enjoyed the review, hit that thumbs up, and I will be back tomorrow morning with Off the Script Part 3 to close out episode 200 for this weekend, man. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow morning for Off the Script. Hit that thumbs up, check out Audible, and check out everything else that is JD here on the channel, and I will be back tomorrow with Off the Script, guys. Have a good night. Hope you enjoyed Battleground. Hope you enjoyed Clash of Champions. Let me know what you guys think down below. If I made sense or not, call me a goon if you don't agree with me. Whatever, man. I said what I said, and I stick by what I said, but I hope you guys enjoyed the review nonetheless, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Off the Script.